يا الو.
Hello, everyone. I know that you couldn't hear anything earlier because I muted everyone and muted myself as well. Just preparing some stuff and then we'll start right away. Hello, everyone. So, okay. Can you see the screen now? Please answer in the chat box. Okay, wonderful. So, how are you feeling now? Good? Ready to start? Okay, nice. Very good. Okay, so think we can start now. Okay, so first of all, hello and welcome to this webinar, and hopefully it's going to be very useful for you, and I hope it will be fun for you as well. So starting off, it would be just a bit difficult for everyone to participate using the voice and the camera, but thank God that we have the chat box. So I know that it might be a bit not fun to keep typing things and stuff, but I actually tried to make it as interactive as I could. So that's it. Yeah, just a bit of note. Please make sure to answer to the questions that I might ask you through the webinar in a chat box, but also be careful to make them very short phrases or words, because typing big sentences would be very difficult for me to read and also for you to type and follow up with the questions. Okay, so just let's start with a bit of GTKY. So yeah, please write in a chat box how many years have you been teaching and where you're from. Is everyone here from Egypt? Oh, Algeria. Nice. Okay. Seems like most people are from Egypt. Oh, Pakistan. That's nice. Okay, wonderful. Oh, some people here with very long experience, like they've been teaching for 4 years and 6 years. That's wonderful. Okay, very, very good. Thank you very much for, okay. Thank you very much for sharing. Now, let's get to know me now. Okay, so these are mostly everything about me. I am Aya Badr. I studied teaching English as a foreign language with iTTi, and then I started studying, and I finished studying actually how to teach IELTS, and then I moved to Cambridge trainer, and after that I started teaching English online with Cambridge as well. And I also teach English and train teachers at British Training Centre, and that's one thing. And also I am an IELTS and TOEFL IBT trainer. I'm also the founder of Teachers Talking Time Initiation for training teachers. So that's basically everything about me here. Okay. So, as we said, the topic of the session is going to be mixed ability classes. So please tell me in the chat box, what do you think mixed ability classes mean? What does everyone, are you still here? Okay. Okay, different backgrounds, different levels. Some people saying different proficiency levels, variety of abilities in class, very nice. Okay. Okay, kind of agree some of them. Okay, very interesting. Okay. So I actually kind of agree with this. So there are classes with people who are just different in everything. Some students might be very fast readers than others, more than others, and other students would be good at listening, very good at speaking or writing. Some students might enjoy this activity, some others might not enjoy it as well, or in the same way. So yeah, so basically different people. So attitude and interest, very, very nice. Okay, that's really nice. Okay, so we have here this saying, and says, or this statement, it says, many teachers believe that teaching mixed ability classes require a high level of individualization of tasks. This is often impractical. I mean, we cannot really do it all the time. What if instead we treated the mixed ability class simply as a whole class made of individual students? Aren't all classes mixed ability classes? And by this question, I just want you to think about your students and the classes you've taught before. Did you all have the same kind of students all the time? Did you have students that were all similar? Okay, I'll wait for your answers in the chat box as well. Yeah, so they're mainly different most of the time. Okay. So from that, I can say that you agree to the statement, right? Do you agree to this statement? Okay, wonderful. Okay, very, very good. Okay, so we spoke about the level of language and people with different skills when it comes to language itself. Now, moving to the second question, we have here, besides language ability, in what other ways can learners differ from each other? Yeah, I do agree, Aya. It would be very difficult to have very big gap between students. Okay, so what do you think? What other ways could students be different? Okay. People just make sure to make the sentences as short as they can be. I do agree, some students are very shy and some others are a bit slow when it comes to carrying on tasks. Okay. Very good, needs. Nice. Motivation level, I love that. Okay, very, very nice. Okay, so I guess now that we have quite a clear definition of what we mean by mixed ability classrooms, which are all the classrooms, because mainly we always have different students. Okay, so moving to the second part, which is here. What will we cover in this session? What do you think we're going to cover here? What aims do you want to achieve in this session? Okay. Okay, things related to instructions, tasks, nice. Problems and solutions, I love that. Has to do with different levels, nice. Methods of dealing with these students, nice, very good. Activities, wonderful. Okay, so that's actually very, very close. Very good sense of achievement. I love that. CCQs and ICQs, yes, we might use that as well. Very good. Okay, so the first thing, which is to identify the meaning of mixed ability classes, I believe we've done that already. Move into the second one. We're going to learn about 5 challenges of teaching mixed ability classes and to find solutions for them. Then we're going to learn and practice 4 activities that could be helpful for mixed ability classes. Moving from there, we're going to have some tips on how to deal with these classes. So that's pretty much everything. So let's start off with challenges. So, okay. So again, in this part, it's going to be interactive. So I will ask a question, or I will give you a problem or a challenge, and I want you to write the solutions you think might be helpful in a situation. Remember, make sure to make your sentences very clear. If you use just words or phrases just to comprehend what you mean, okay? So there we go. Okay, nice motion. Okay, so the first challenge that we have, half the students have finished and an exercise when the other half just only just begun. So what would you do in this situation? Extra activities. Okay, a lot of people are saying extra activities. Okay. Very nice. Extra examples, extra exercises, very, very good. Okay, so I really love your answers, but also I will show you kind of, okay, group work might help. Nice. Okay, very good. Now let's see the answer that we have here. Okay, so the first thing that we can check here is what we call graded tasks. So what do you think about this? Are these tasks like all the same level of the challenge? Oh, somebody's asking about the length of the session. It might be an hour and a half to 2 hours. Okay, that's it. So, okay, so again, so graded tasks, and then open-ended activities, and then we can also have extra tasks. So you've got the last one, but let's focus a bit. What do you think open-ended activities mean? Open-ended activities. So again, yeah, what do you mean by open-ended activities? Yeah, somebody did a great job and highlighted this phrase. So open-ended activities, what do you think? Writing essays, that's actually kind of close. Wouldn't say essays, but or paragraphs, but yeah, it's something like that. So, okay, I'd call that. There are activities that are free for the students to give their input. So students can vary when it comes to the level of input. So, for example, you told your students, somebody here said, so writing paragraphs or essays or stories or anything that's productive. So for example, we can tell them to write a story. So one person might write just 3-4 sentences and that's his story. Another person would just draw something. Other student would write a big, nice story. So it depends on this. And this is why it's open-ended, because every student or each student can give his or her input in this activity without being restricted to a specific kind of input. So it's not like matching, because in matching they all have to give the same answer. But when it comes to open-ended, they are free when it comes to that. A discussion, yeah, that's actually could work as well as open-ended, because again, it's a free activity. Okay, very, very nice. So moving to the next challenge. let me just clean that. Thank you to the person who annotated this. Okay, so some stronger students get bored if I spend time explaining to the weaker ones. So what do you think is the solution to this? How can we avoid boredom in the classroom? Yeah, because they're fast learners, I do agree. Well, okay, so Imana, I do agree. I really like the ideas of peer activities and role plays, but we're kind of focused now on the clarification stage. So when a teacher is clarifying something, a tense or piece of grammar or something. Okay, flipped classroom, nice. That's very good. Oh, so Samira, I really love this answer. Like getting them to explain things to their friends. That's nice. Peer teaching, I love that. Use them, that's a bit, yeah, okay. It's just, I guess, nice. Very good. Okay, so it's kind of, I'm just, okay, very good. Okay, wonderful, to give them a role in the activity. Very good. Very good. So most of you actually agree on the same answers. So very good. Now let's check the answer that we've got here. Getting them to explain. So yeah, very well done. That's it. And other thing, which is they can be doing other tasks. So I can, like, they got the thing that they need to understand. So now I can give them tasks. And I can walk around the class and micro teach weak students without really interrupting the other ones. So I made sure that everybody got what I mean. And I also kept the strong students doing something so they don't get bored. And the other solution, which is something I really, really love, which is getting them to teach their friends. So that's very good. Okay. One more thing. We've got a syllabus to get through, but most of the students are already behind. So it's like you're almost by the end of the semester and you need to finish everything, but you feel that students didn't really cope with the things that they were supposed to study. So what would you do here? I believe that this question would work very well with people who work for schools. Love that. Homework. That's very good. Re-explain. I wouldn't actually say yes to that because that would waste more time. Okay, so we've got here homework, remote learning. Nice to use the time outside the class. I love that. Okay, somebody's asking, what does it mean here? I don't know what you were asking about. Extra lessons, okay. If there are extra lessons outside the classroom, then yeah, that would help. Short review, okay, that could work. Already behind, it means like they're not coping with achieving the aims of the lessons taught throughout the semester, or the so kind of late. So for example, you're teaching unit 10 and they're still struggling with unit 6, something like that. Thank you for annotating. That's really helpful. Thank you, guys. Oh, I love this one. That's really, really good. Remedial plans. I love that. That's really good. Okay, so thank you very much. Now let's check this here. So the first part, remedial checklists. And the second part, we have extra classes. I do agree to that. Self-access slots and homework tasks. So that's pretty much what you said. Now, remedial checklists. What we mean by this, it's like kind of me checking the development or the progress of students in the beginning of, so I just make sure that we studied past simple, for example, last semester. So I just make sure that they still remember it and they know how to use it, so that I can start off with the new things that they need to learn about. And also, this would help me to know the weaknesses, the areas to work on for students. And this is what I'm going to use to give them extra classes or self-act slots or homework tasks, extra for students who need help. Okay. Diagnostic tests, I do agree to that. Okay. Clarify. Remedial. Okay. So, okay, it's something that you need to, as if you make it up to students who miss things. So you test what they studied before to make sure that they covered it properly. If not, this is when you need to give some help. So this would helps you decide whether to help them or not, because of course not all students would get the full mark in everything. So okay, the translation. Thank you for that. Okay. So okay, very, very good. So question here is how to test the students. What are the criteria? It's just to check their understanding of the meaning, form, and might be pronunciation if you have the time to, before the beginning of the course. So in this sense, you can decide. And of course, it's according to what you're testing, so you can actually decide on that. Okay, so. Oh, thank you, Mariam. Okay, so moving to the next part. This annotation, I cannot really move. Okay, so the weaker students sit at the back and disturb or start disrupting the lesson. I mean, I was one of these students before. I wasn't a very weak student, but I loved sitting in the back and disrupting the lesson. And here I am teaching. Classroom management, very nice. Group working, wonderful. Assign them tasks. Okay, might be a good solution. Kill them. No, we cannot really, no. We cannot do that. It's illegal. Okay. Ask them different questions. Yes. Oh, that's really good, Usama. So give them roles inside the class to empower them and to show them that I care about them. Okay. Extra tasks. So sit in the back, like, okay, guys, you're sitting in the back. Okay, there you go, extra tasks. Group working, nice. Okay, I can see really good answers here. Very good. So Mira said like this would get them to participate. Group working, that's really good. I do agree. U-shape, I love that. Change seating, yes. Giving them sense of responsibility, yeah, that would work for some of them, not everyone. Okay, very good. Yeah, change pairs, that used to happen a lot with me. Like, A, just go sit in the front, stop sitting in the back. Okay. Involve them, pairing them with stronger students. Nice. I love that one. Very, very nice. Okay. Very well done. Let's see the questions here, the solution here. So the first thing is good classroom management skills, like the things that you actually said: seating, grouping, giving them roles in a classroom, and these things. Very good. Getting them to move around a class. I love that, Sahar. That's really, really nice. Interaction patterns, change in pairs and group work. So these things, very, very nice. Vary task design, and this would also help me with interaction patterns and getting them to move around a class. So very well done. Okay, that's a really, really good work. That's really good work. Okay, so one more problem, or one last problem. Okay, so some of the students' written homework is an absolute disaster. Grammar, spelling, everything. I don't know where to start correcting it. Yeah, I've seen that before. So what do you think is the solution here? Because remember, as teachers, we need to keep to be motivated throughout the courses that we teach. And sometimes we might be frustrated by the performance of the students. So what do you think is the proper solution for this? Okay, distribute homework among students. That's nice. Whole class feedback. Okay, let's discuss this again. Scaffolding, wonderful. We have really, really good teachers here. I'm so lucky to be here with you, wow. Okay, teach privately. Yeah, sometimes you might need to do that. Correct the major problems only. Yeah, just give them more care. Scaffolding, okay, we're gonna answer this now. Micro teach them, very good. Okay, wonderful. So, yeah, help them as the class. It would require the teacher to exert some more effort, but probably it's worth it. I love this answer, Sameh. It's like never belittle their skills or efforts. So I really love this. Very, very nice. Okay, so now let's check the answer that we've got. So, so if they haven't been given no guidance, or if they have been given no guidance, this is not surprising, because if you don't tell the students exactly what they need to do, they wouldn't be able to do it. So that's the first thing. So as you said here, scaffolding, and scaffolding is like building blocks that would help students be ready for doing tasks, or to carry on with different activities, or to do different tasks and activities. So yes, so that's what we mean by scaffolding. Of course, yeah, it's going to be gradual. Yeah, we need to start with very little blocks, and then we build up on them, and then eventually our students would be able to do the tasks and be autonomous. So very good. And then we move to train students in error awareness, and encourage them to check and correct their own and each other's work. So I really love that, which is pair check, or pair error correction. So in this part, I would just need to make my students very comfortable with the idea of learning and making mistakes, and for accepting these mistakes, and just acknowledging that making mistakes is just a very crucial part of learning, because you cannot really learn without making mistakes and correcting them. So that's the first part. And then, so training them, that's very, very important. And I believe we start by training them, by building really good rapport with them. So they feel that they are in a very safe zone where they can make mistakes and keep learning. Okay, so So yeah, working together and correcting each other's mistakes, that's very, very nice. And then we move to error checklists. So here, that's another part, and reference books. So if I say error checklists, what I mean here is raising the students' awareness. So I wouldn't just give them, okay, so he said, I doesn't like pizza. So I wouldn't tell him like, no, it's I don't. This is one way of correcting. So I wouldn't say that this is wrong. But sometimes you would just need to elicit in a way. So you'd say, do we use does with I? Do we use does with you? Or do we use do and don't? So in this sense, you can give them the awareness of their own mistakes and their own weaknesses so they can work on them. That's one thing. Another thing, which is reference books, and I really love that because of two reasons. The first reason is repetition. Yes, I do agree with that. So that's one thing. Okay, so all of these are kinds of like echoing, and these things are kinds of feedback and error correction. Wonderful. And reference books, now back to them. They're very good when it comes to two things. The first thing is to lift the weight over the teacher's like shoulders, because you wouldn't need to clarify everything. Like maybe in the beginning of the course, you told them, we have these books. This book is for grammar, this book is for vocabulary, and this book for blah, blah, blah. So they know that when you tell them, so that mistake is a grammatical mistake, and you can go check the book, page number 4, for example. So they would know, they would go check on their own. So you wouldn't exert a lot of effort. So for this thing, you need two things. The first one is awareness. Students need to know the kind of mistake they made. So they accept it, and then they know it, and then they can work on it. And then the second thing is for them to be very independent, very autonomous, and to make sure that they have the proper level of motivation that they can use to keep working at home. So at this stage, they actually know that learning is the responsibility. So you'd eliminate the fact that everything is the teacher's responsibility. So they would know that if I made this mistake, I need to know what kind of mistake it is, and then I would need to check that book because it's my responsibility to learn. So that's it. So that's what we mean here by error checklists and reference books. So, okay, very good. And also, they need to be aware of the assessment criteria. So, and this is very, very important because we have kind of codes that you can find them actually on Google or whenever you search. So it's kind of correction code. Exactly, given rubrics. That's what I was going to say, actually. Thank you, Sahar. So like these rubrics, so for example, you would give them some signs or some codes. So G, it means a grammatical mistake. So actually when you're, for example, correcting the homework, you wouldn't say the right answer. You would just underline a mistake and write G. So the student would know that this is a grammatical mistake. Or W, it means a word mistake. So, and then you can give them, or S for spelling, SP for spelling, very nice. Some people are using this already. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so now they can take this and they can study on their own. Okay, very, very good. And then also freer and open-ended writing tasks, responding to the content and reformulation in more appropriate than correcting errors overtly. So just don't focus on this is wrong, the right thing is this one, and this would fix the problem like temporarily, but it wouldn't really fix it or change the how the information is formed in a student's mind. So that's something that we need to be very careful with. Okay, wonderful. So people are still giving examples of this. Wonderful, thank you very much. Okay, so now we're done with the 5 problems and solutions. Okay, so just make sure to write any other problems that you face, and we can answer this at the end of the session. So if there are other problems that you face when it comes to this, mixed ability classes, we can work on them as well at the end of the session. Okay, so actually that was kind of the first part of our session, which is going, mashallah, very smoothly because I have really wonderful teachers here. Okay, very good. So now moving to the second part, activities for mixed ability classes. Well, I believe here that most of these activities will be very, you will be very familiar with them because we use them, but we might have not think about them or thought about them in this way before. So, okay, let's go for the first activity. And now actually I'm gonna ask you to just think as students. So you were not teachers now. Okay, so do you like traveling? And have you ever traveled outside the country, for example? So everyone loves traveling, nice, very good. And even if you don't like it, after this time of lockdown and just staying at home, you would really want to travel. Yeah, exactly, I do agree, we cannot travel anymore. Wonderful. Have you ever traveled outside the country, and if so, where did you go? Inside the country with my best friend. Yeah, Mariam, that was really nice. No, but same here. I haven't traveled before. Oh, sorry, Omar. Sorry, guys. Like, I'm not saying Mr. or Miss or these things because I really don't know like anything about you. So I'm just using names. So excuse me for that. Oh, Soft 11. That's nice. Okay, very good destination. I don't know where it is, to be honest. Turkey. Okay, I love that. I might go one day, inshallah, if we survive this, inshallah. Okay, very, very nice. So, so as long as we all love traveling, now let's move to this. What I want you to do is to find as many benefits of traveling as you can. So try to find at least 2 and write them in the chat box. Okay, fun, I do agree. Experience, nice. Culture. Nice. Earn money, yeah. We actually need to, yeah. Friends, experience. Islamic benefits, yes, I do agree. I really want to go to Saudi Arabia for that. Okay, fun. Exploring and enjoying. I love fun and exploring and enjoying, yes. I do agree to these. Okay. Wonderful. So I can see that most of you got more than 2 benefits of traveling. For political reasons, let's not speak about this here, man. Okay. Okay, very, very nice. Okay, so now let's switch off as students, and now we're teachers. Okay, so testing new food, I do agree. Okay, so we have here this grid, and it has some questions. So we call this brainstorming. It's like a very classical exercise that everybody uses. Like whenever you feel, I don't know what to have as a lead-in, or I still have time in the classroom and I don't know what to do, and you just go to brainstorming. So now let's think about this. How much time would it take you to prepare such an activity? Does it take a lot of time to prepare? It depends. Okay, so people saying it depends. It depends on what? So yeah, I agree. It doesn't take a lot of time. Very good. Now, let's think about the activity that I had here. Did I have a lot of materials for it? Okay, so, okay, when I say preparation, I mean preparation for the teacher at home, not for the students in the classroom. Because again, this is still part of teaching, not part of preparing the class. So just a simple activity of find as many ideas about this topic. So actually that wouldn't take time for preparation. It would be very, very effective time-wise. Okay, very good. So what about materials? Did I use any materials here? Yeah, we'll get to that, Sahar. Yeah, we'll get to that. Get to pictures now. Okay, now let's think about what level can I start, or at what level can I start using this with students? So beginners, elementary, pre-intermediate, kids. What do you think? All levels. Yes, because again, this kind of activity is very open-ended, so every student can give their input. Okay, very good. And it also suits kids, right? What do you think about this? Can we use it with kids? Not for kids. Well, I think that we can use it for kids actually. So you can just get a picture and ask students or the children, what can you see in the pictures? They would use, they can say, I can see a car, it's red, and they would say. So again, it's open-ended. Okay. Very, very nice. Okay, now adaptability. And by adaptability, we mean different teaching contexts. So like teaching kids, teaching in schools, and teaching maybe doctors, teaching managers, teaching like college students. So does it suit everything, or it's not very adaptable? What do you think? Very nice. Okay, so very, very good. Okay, what about anticipated problems and solutions? Could you think of any problems that would happen here? Mm-hmm. Okay, some students might not be able to speak in English, like very, uh, like students in a very beginning of learning English. Time consuming, yes, sometimes I do agree. Lack of fluency, time shyness. Shy students will feel frustrated, yes. Okay. Well, now let's think about these problems or these anticipated problems. How do you think we can fix them? Like, let's go to the first part, for example. Okay, let's leave shyness aside because I believe that in a common activity we'll cover this part. But time consuming, how can I fix this problem? What is the most suitable solution for this? Timing, exactly. So I can just set a timer and tell students that you've got only 5 minutes to finish this task. Group working, yes, I do agree sometimes. Planning ahead is the key word. I do agree to that. I really love this answer. Set in time, yes. And actually somebody else said that students might lack the motivation. And I would say, so like this activity being very, not very effective when it comes to time, and some students might not be motivated, but then when you use the timer, you can use this to get them motivated, and maybe playing some music in the background will get the students really motivated. Okay, shy students, yes, might be asked very simple questions. And remember, there is a key thing here at the end of the question that I asked, which is at least 2. So if you think at 2, it's not very challenging, because shy students would get only the 2 ideas and that's it. For overachievers or stronger students, they would get more. So, but I set the bar at 2, so it's not very frustrating for everyone. Okay, very, very nice. Funny Bell, I do agree. Very nice. Okay, so I believe we've covered everything here. Okay, now somebody said it might be challenging when it comes to the instructions, or yeah, instructions need to be very clear. So I can say things like, so what are you going to do now? You're going to think about traveling. How many ideas are you supposed to get? Like I'd say 2. Is it okay to get only 1? No, you should get at least 2. Can you get more than 2? Yes, of course. So this way. And of course, I'm going to work alone or with a partner, these questions. So ICQs, yes. Okay, very, very good. Now, unfortunately, this task is a bit big, so it would be very difficult for us to participate in it. So that's why I had a description instead. So, okay, so this activity, students are given a reading passage. So normally when you give a reading passage, you get the students to have the whole passage and they read and they answer the questions and these procedures that we carry on in the class. But instead of reading all of it individually, what is different here is that we divide the students into groups where each member is assigned a specific role in the reading process. So they're not only reading it, they have a specific role that they need to perform. And then students are given a chance to check their ideas within their groups before finally sharing all the ideas with the whole class. So that's it. And I'd say that for me, when I apply this activity or when I use it, I have these roles here. I have the clarifier, I have the summarizer, I have the questioner, and finally I have the presenter. So what I mean by this is the clarifier. And this actually would help you when it comes to assigning the roles, so you'd know which students should take which role in a reading practice. So for example, a clarifier, and the job of this person is to find the difficult words in the reading passage and try to find the meanings for these words using definitions or using dictionary or whatsoever. And then you have the summarizer, and this student would genuinely read the whole thing and try to summarize it in just few sentences or a few ideas or few words if the text is very small, so it would be words. And then the questioner, and this person would just come up with questions to which he can or she can find the answers in a passage. And then the presenter is finally the person who would present, and you can actually choose this. And the presenter, you might think that the presenter is sitting and is not doing anything, but no, if you check, you'll find that the presenter is going around a group and checking what everyone is doing to get ideas and to be ready for the presentation. Exactly, you can call it the reporter. Yes, very good. Okay, so now think about this activity, and I would tell you that I used this activity for the first time with a group of 70 students. It was a very big event and I had so many people, but yet it was very, very effective because everybody got the chance to work with a group. And then eventually I had the presenter reporting the information or the things that they were working on. So that really helped me. Okay. Okay, very, very good. Nice. So moving now as teachers, so I call this activity reading roles. Now let's think about the preparation time. So let's think about just this question. Does it take longer time in preparation more than the normal reading preparation? Okay, does it take longer time than normal preparation for reading? So it's the same time? Okay, that's what Hassan thinks. Yeah, well, I would say actually that for some teachers, if of course, if you're not familiar with something, it would take you more time. And once you get used to it, it would be very easy for you. It would become the norm. Okay, very good. If there was, yeah, if there is no, uh, not a lot of things to focus on, yes, so it wouldn't take much time. Okay, very, very good. Okay, now what about materials? Does it need more materials than the materials we use in the normal reading practices? Okay, very nice. So yeah, it doesn't need a lot of materials because all you would need to do is you would just print one piece with the roles, and then you would cut them and give each student the roles. The book and a dictionary. I believe that all the teachers have this, so you can use this, and also like to become a very light material activity. You can simply get the students to have the dictionary on their phones, but you would need to monitor carefully to make sure that they are using the dictionary, not going on social media or something. Okay, nice, very good. The reading text only. Now think about it. If you have the book and you're already going to teach a reading lesson, so you already have the text, so you wouldn't need to worry about this. Okay, very, very nice. Oh, thank you, Isra. I love you too, Allah. Thank you very much. Okay, now think about the level. At which level can I start using this activity? Yeah, I can start from beginners. Yeah. So it would actually all be about the level of the text itself. So for beginners, I would use text for beginners from the book, from any source that are suitable for this level. And yeah, somebody's complaining about the voice. Can you all hear me properly? Okay, very nice. Okay, wonderful. So, okay, so the levels, yes, it depends on the text itself. Now, adaptability, can I use it for different things, for different courses like IELTS, TOEFL, IBT, OET, or teaching general English? Is this adaptable? Very good. So yes, I would say it's very, very adaptable. And I actually used to use it a lot when I used to teach TOEFL IBT classes because taking notes is a very big part of the TOEFL test. So students would need to practice the skill of taking notes all the time. So they would be reading and taking notes, listening and taking notes before writing, taking notes before speaking. So all these things are very important. So I'd say that this is very recommended when it comes to practicing taking notes. Okay. Very, very nice. Any anticipated problems? And of course, if you mention a problem, try to find a solution for it and then we will discuss it. Okay, blocking words. Okay. So it's kind of like there is a consensus here on words, like you all agree on that. Okay. Okay, very good. I do agree to that. So, okay, so for every problem, there must be a solution. So what do you think would be the solution for this? And somebody said weak students as well. We're going to get to that. Okay, pre-teach vocabulary. But think about it. Okay, that might be one solution. But if I did so, what would the clarifier do? Exactly. Thank you very much. So the clarifier can help with this. So, and I don't need this to be very challenging, because for the clarifier, it would only be something like, it doesn't have to be check in the dictionary. I can just give the clarifier the whole passage and then the highlighted words in a passage, and then they can match the words to the definition. So the clarifier would read and find the definitions within the handout. So it doesn't need to be very challenging. Creativity and is a problem, and fluency. We'll get to fluency now. Creativity wouldn't be a big problem, I believe, because simply they have a text. It's not a speaking activity. They have all the information they need in a text. Train them to deduce the meaning. I do agree to that. Because again, understanding meaning from the context is a skill in English that, or in all the language, that this is something that we need to teach our students. Okay. Collaboration. Okay, that's something. Okay, shyness. Yeah, actually, when previously in a previous exercise, I said that we will come to shyness now, and that's actually what I meant here. So in this activity, if you check the procedures, you will find that I said, give them roles so they can read individually first and carry on with these roles. And then they are given a chance to work in a group or in their groups. And then eventually they will present the ideas. So in the first time, the student is very, very comfortable when the student is working on his own or on her own. So that's the first part. And then it's less challenging when it comes to, okay, now they feel that they are ready with the ideas they prepared, and they are kind of ready to share it with the group. When they share it with the group, they gain confidence about these ideas or these questions or these meanings that they got for these things. And then eventually, when you do that, at this stage, they are emotionally and mentally ready to share because they have practiced them twice. So they checked things on their own, and then they shared them with the group, then they had the discussion about it, and now they feel, okay, like I'm comfortable with this. I checked it alone, and then I checked it with my friends in a group, and now I'm ready to do that. So that's the solution for the shy students, because it would help them gain confidence to present their ideas or to speak about them. And okay, that's something. And then another thing, which is a teacher doesn't have to give them the cards of the roles haphazardly, because you can assign, like you would know that Minna is a very strong student, so you would give her the clarifier role. And then for this person, you would give him this role because he's good with that. And then maybe for a shy student, you would give them a role in which they can practice without being like intimidated or put on a spot. That's another thing. Okay, very, very nice. Other thing, students are not able to understand their role. Yes, well, I do agree to that. And this is the teacher's job. It's like when you present the roles, you need to tell everybody what they're going to do. So you say, okay, so the clarifier is going to write questions, and then the students say, no. So will they find meanings for difficult words? Yes. So now everybody, exactly ICQs. So everybody would know exactly what to do. And then you can say in the very beginning, are you going to work with your friends or are you going to work alone? And then you say alone. And then after you finish, what are you going to do? They would say, like, we're going to check with our friends. How long do you have for this activity? We have like 5 minutes. And then how many minutes do you have for checking with your friends? Like they would say 3 minutes, and then that's it. So this is how we do it. Now, very, very good. Okay, so now we spoke about adaptability, of course, and we said that this would be very helpful when it comes to notes taken. Now, any other problems here? Like, I believe that we've covered all the questions here, right? Any other questions on this one? Or any other problems you think we need to check? Exactly. So, okay, what do you think is, now we've given everybody a role in a classroom. What do you think is the teacher's role now? Because that's very crucial. Some people say, I gave them everything to do and now, okay, I can just go sit and chill till they finish. What is the teacher's role here? Monitoring, okay. I do agree. We can add one more thing to monitoring or something that goes under monitoring. Facilitator, thank you very much, Shireen and Malika. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. That's a really nice name. Okay, so very motivation. I love that. Organizer, very good. And in this, I'm like the person who wrote it, I mean, like, I can go around and make sure that everybody's doing their own role. Supporter, I really love that. So you know your students, you can go around and help them with that. Okay. Very, very good. Wonderful. Okay, so that's one more activity. Now, okay, now let's move to the last one here. Okay, so we have here, as you can see, 3 activities, and I'm going to ask you some questions here. So, can you all see the screen? I believe you do. Okay, wonderful. So now take a look here. We have 3 activities, right? Now, do they all test the same thing? Like in terms of grammar, vocabulary, do they all test the same thing? What do they test? Okay, very, very good. Very good. So mainly vocabulary. Very, very good. So now take a look at them. One of them is matching, so that you already have all the words, and the other one you have the words but missing letters, and the last one you have no words at all. So are they all the same level of difficulty? Very, very nice. Yeah, it's like steps of difficulties, yes. What do we call that? Very good. So they are graded. Thank you very much, Muhammad. Okay, so they are graded. Wonderful. So, okay. So now, why do you think we could use these activities? Why would we use 3 activities for the same thing? Mixed class, yes, that's one thing. Students' levels. Very, very nice. Okay, very good. So you all agree that this is helpful when it comes to mixed ability classes. Nice. Okay, scaffolding, really nice. Okay, now what we do here is, this would be a bit weird because we normally say that this is the activity I'm going to give to my students and they're going to answer it within 5 minutes, and then I'm going to give, let them check in pairs, and then eventually I'll give the feedback, and that's it. But in this one here, actually, the students will be the ones controlling the activity or how the activity go, and they will be the ones choosing what to start with. Okay, so now let's think about this activity here. So the first thing, Preparation time. Would it take a lot of time to prepare? Somehow. Okay, some people are saying no. Relatively, yes. Okay, so I do agree to these answers. So that depends on two things. The first one, not so much time, yeah, some people are saying that. So I would say that it depends on the first thing. The first thing that it depends on is the level of experience of the teacher himself or herself. So if the teacher is very familiar with teaching this level, or is very familiar with teaching this piece of language, or have enough resources for this, then that would be very easy for the teacher. That's one thing. So experience and resources, the first thing. And the second thing is what kind of exercises I'm gonna use. So if I'm gonna get things from the book, that wouldn't take much time. But if I'm getting things like what I did here, like I got these activities from a website. So actually it didn't take me more than 5 minutes. I just got them, got the pictures and inserted them here, and that's it. So, so the thing here is, if you're using a book, normally if you think about it, you'll find the first sentence in an example, for example, is, or in an exercise, is very easy, is the easiest one. The first one is the easiest one. And then you will find that the sentences are getting more challenging, like whenever you go more with them. So you can simply say, I have this activity from the book, and what I'm going to do, the first 3 sentences are the easy ones, and then I have the next 3 are kind of medium, and then the last ones are very difficult or are challenging. So that's what you need to do. Okay. So yeah, so preparation time, that's it depends on the teacher and on the resources that they have. Okay, now moving to materials. Does it need a lot of materials? No. Okay. So I would say again, it depends. So if I'm using a book, for example, it wouldn't take a lot of materials. But if I'm getting sources other than the book, that would take some copies and some other things. Okay, very, very nice. Okay, what about the level? Okay, we can start this with beginners. Yes, I do agree. So all the levels, yes, very good. Adaptability. Can I use it for different things, like different contexts and different courses and different students? Can I do that? Wonderful. Okay, nice. Let's move to the last thing, which is anticipated problems and solutions. What problems might we face with this exercise? Okay. Yeah, wrong spelling. Uh, okay, what I actually mean here is not this example that I got specifically. I mean the whole idea of graded exercises. So in general, it doesn't have to be vocabulary. It could be grammar. So just think about the type of the activity, not the example I mentioned. I could be using this actually with present simple. And it doesn't have to be writing. It could be like matching and then early finishers. Okay. What else? We're gonna answer this like early finishers. We're gonna check this together now. Okay. Any problems other than early finishers? Okay. Weak learners. Okay, we're gonna answer this as well. Okay, so let's start with the first thing. Let me tell you again how this is gonna be applied. So for example, you will have a table in a classroom and you will have 3 different handouts for the activities, or you would tell them the different stages for the activity or the different portions of the activities. And then you will get them, you'd say, okay, so you have 10 minutes to finish answering these questions. And we have here these things. So you can answer as much as you can within the 10 minutes. So when you do that, like students have to follow the time that you set. So that's the first thing. And you wouldn't have early finishers because like 3 exercises, for example, I would give them 10 minutes. So I would check them at home and then I believe like, okay, 10 minutes are enough for this, are enough for a good student to answer the 3 of them. Okay, so in this sense, you gave them the time and you told them that at least they need to answer 1 of them. So the very strong student would answer the 3, and then weaker students would answer only 1 or 2 of them within the time that you set. So that's why early finishers and weak learners are not problems here, because every student or each student can work at their own pace. Okay, so that's the first question. Okay, so are you convinced with this answer, or do you have any other ideas? Please share with me if you have other ideas. Okay. Okay, so that's it. Now let's think about something. Okay, now let's think about one more thing. How would students feel if I named and this is actually one of the problems. How would students feel if I said that this part or this exercise is easy, this one is medium, and this one is difficult? Would they all be happy and satisfied? Because you might have Abdullah, for example, saying that I answered the difficult one and Ahmed only answered the easy one, so I'm better than him. So you would have this kind of thing. So would it be effective to call them easy, medium, and difficult? Because we might face this problem of, we call it stigma. So you would have some students saying, okay, I only answered the easy one and now I feel bad about myself and I don't want to say that I only answered this because other people answered more difficult exercises. So what I did here is I actually did something completely different from naming them according to their level of like difficulty. So for example, you can tell your students that when you go to a restaurant, we have a meal. And for the meal, we have 3 parts. So in the first part, we have the starters like salads and juice and these things. And then we have the main meal or the main course, like when we actually eat. And eventually we have the dessert. And then you can say, imagine that you went to a restaurant. So you choose, this exercise is the starter, this one is the main course, and the last one is the dessert. So choose whatever you want to start with. But remember, if you're going to have everything, you need to have it only within the 10 minutes. So in this way, students would feel, okay, I'm just eating. It's not about levels. We are motivated, but yet we're not being very competitive with each other. Okay, so I'm giving them the opportunity to work at their own pace within the time that I set. And also, I'm removing the element of competition, like the negative side of competition when they start like mocking each other, for example. That might happen with kids. Some students might get very arrogant, and we don't want this to happen because, again, if a student got really arrogant or something, that would stop their learning process. So, okay, very nice. So, okay, one more question here. Would you like to use this activity in your classroom? And if you would you change anything? Very consistent sense of responsibility for choices. Very, very nice. Okay, that's another thing, which is a jigsaw. So I can get them like, when you finish this, you can swap and then you can do that. Okay, you might just have a problem when doing this because some groups might finish before the other group. So you need to be very ready for that. Okay, very, very good. So thank you for this. Now, one last activity, and it's called using pictures to elicit, and I call it build up or building up. So, okay. So some people are just raising their hands, and I cannot really check that now. So we will finish like very much the last activity or the last exercise, and then we will have some time for questions, and then we can like communicate better than this. Okay, so now using pictures to elicit and also to build up. Now think about this. Now you are students, or we are all students actually. So now I have this one that we can see everywhere here in Egypt. So I want you to think about all the things that you can see here, like the ideas that you had once you saw this picture, and also the things that you can see. So I need ideas and vocabulary or verbs. Again, so what you're going to do is look at the picture and try to write some ideas that you had seen a picture. Also, things that you can mention here, ideas and things. Like I can say, the first idea that came to my mind is teaching, and then the things that I could see are the desks, the students. Very good. Okay, so that's pretty much what we did in the brainstorming activity. Interaction within the classroom, okay. And then there is waiting for the answer. Okay, very, very nice. Okay, very good. Nice, wonderful. Okay, thank you very much for this. Now let's take it to a higher level. Now building up. Now what I want you to do is to use the words that you got to write sentences to describe the classroom that you can see. So again, you're going to use the words that you got to write, like paragraphs or just sentences. Just sentences. Okay, very good. So you can do that now. Some people already wrote some nice sentences here. Okay, very nice. Now, I wouldn't really wait for more ideas because I know that you can do that. So we have here notes, and then we progress to the phrases and sentences. Now I'm going to ask you to use these things and think about a situation that happened to you in a classroom, whether as a teacher or as a student, and think about this situation. Could be a happy situation, could be a sad situation, could be a funny situation, could be whatever. If you cannot recall something that happened to you, think about a friend. If you cannot really recall anything about a friend, think about an imaginary situation. So it's up to you. So you're going to write a situation or a story that happened to you or an imaginary one, and you're going to use also the words you got. Okay. So, okay. So just for the sake of the time, I wouldn't really get you to write the whole stories because we're all teachers here and I believe that you can easily write these stories. But just think of you doing this with your students, getting them to think firstly about the words and then moving up to the sentences and then moving to the story or the situation or the conversation or the writing activity. So it could be writing, could be speaking, could be anything. Okay, so that's everything here. Now moving or switching off as teachers, now as students, now we're teachers. So I call it build up because I love really using the blocks to build up or to reach something, the process of doing this. So now think about the preparation time. Does it require a lot of preparation time from the teacher at home? Do you think it took me a lot of time to prepare? Okay, and you can relate this also to materials. What materials have I got here? Just one picture, it's not much. Just Googled it to just draw a classroom and I got the picture and that's it. Just a pic. Okay, very good. And nice. Okay, very good. Now let's think about the level. At which level can I start using such an activity? All levels, yes. Okay, wonderful. Is it adaptable? Can I use it for different courses and for different students and for different cultures? Can I do that? Okay, very good. Now, have you got any ideas about problems or solutions that might arise from this, any problems that might arise from this activity? Would we face any problems having this activity? Any problems? You all like it? I would also assume that Most of you have used this, even if you name it as build-up, but I believe that most of us used it. Lack of vocabulary. Okay, I like this one. I like it very much. For low levels, it will be a bit hard, yes. Some students might not understand the questions. Okay, so good. So Rehan, that's really nice. We might help like we might help students with new vocabulary. Yes, I do agree to that. So for example, you can tell them, okay, think of the things that you can see. What can you see in this picture? And they would say a teacher, a boy, a girl, a desk, a book, a notebook, a wall, the floor. They would say these things. If they couldn't get something, you can simply point and say that this is a desk and this is, so you can teach. And then from there you can clarify. So you clarify the meaning using the picture, and then you can move to the pronunciation, make sure that they can use them or pronounce them properly using like drilling. And then after that you can move to the form. So that's how you can help here as a feedback to the first brainstorming. Exactly, MPF, exactly. So that's what you need to do here. So you can help them. Because it depends, you might use this activity in the very beginning to present some vocabulary and then use them to get the students to produce something like writing or speaking or any of that. And also you can use it as revision. So maybe in the last session they studied some vocabulary, and then you're giving some kind of revision. So you're telling them, so what can you see in a picture? And all the things are in the picture, they've seen them before, or they'd seen them before. So they would check them and it would be very easy for them. So it could work also as revision. And then from there, I can go to sentences. If the levels are really, really low, I can just stop at the level of brainstorming and just get in the words that I want. And this, in this sense, I'd be using the PPP, the Present, Practice, Produce framework. So again, it's up to you. It's a very flexible activity that you can manipulate and change easily. So, okay, so somebody also said you cannot, students might not understand, so this one could just say that, what can you see? This is very easy, just chesting, using body language and gestures, using ICQs, demonstrating in front of the students, like saying, so you can say, so I see a teacher, so they would know exactly what to do. Okay, okay, other questions here? Well, thank you, Hamid, for this. Okay. Have you got other problems that I couldn't read, or I didn't have the time to read? I believe not. Okay. Nice. Okay. Now, other problems here? Did we mention any other problems I couldn't see? Low levels, yes, we said that this will be graded according to the level of the students. So I wouldn't teach them an astronaut when they are just beginners. So because it would be very difficult for them. So of course, grading a language. Okay. Nice, very, very good. Okay, so I think that this is the last thing here. So, okay, now I believe we're done with the session. So now let's check, because we set some aims in the very beginning. Now let's recap what we've done. So the first thing, yeah, I think that we had the meaning of mixed ability classes, and we've covered the 5 challenges, or I would say that you covered the 5 challenges and problems and the solutions and everything, because that was wonderful actually, and your ideas were brilliant. Moving to the next part, yes, we did the 4 activities, and then so to learn some techniques for dealing with the classes. So have we achieved all of them? Please say yes if it's a yes, or say no if it's a no. Very simple. We've achieved everything. Thank you. Thank you, Hamid. Thank you, Hamid, for this. Okay. I would need to save this chat. Thank you, Isra. Thank you, everyone. Well, I actually lied about something, because check the last one. Yes, we've covered 5 challenges and their solutions. We've covered, thank you very much, Mr. Sabra, thank you very much. So we also checked the 4 activities, but did we take any techniques for dealing with these classes? And by techniques, I mean general tips. Did we take any of this? Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. You're most welcome. So actually, we haven't, because these are the tips. We wouldn't read them now, and we don't have to worry about them, because I will make sure to have this as PDF. I will upload it on my Facebook so that everybody would have access to it. So whenever you want to check it, or sometimes you would feel, okay, I attended this webinar and I found this nice activity that I would like to use again, but I don't remember how it was like, or whether it would need a lot of preparation time or not. So I will leave this for you, and then you can check it again. So I'll make it as PDF. So Dr. Hiba just submitted a form. So we will fill it at the end, but okay. So so Sahar, I wouldn't actually email you. I would do something different. So I believe we've covered this. Okay, have you got any questions now before we move to the last part of the webinar? Thank you very much, Umnia. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Hassan. Okay, so any questions? Thank you. Okay, so some people might have some questions, and that's why I submitted this here. So these are my contact details. It would be very difficult for you to write them or just to copy them. So you can take a screenshot of them. So you can screenshot the screen. You can keep them with you. So in case you have any questions related to this session, related to your own professional development, anything that you think I might be helpful with, anything related to language, I mean, I would really love to help. So if you like if you need to ask about anything privately, you can have these. So we've got the Gmail, the Facebook, the LinkedIn, and of course there is also a WhatsApp group that I have for teachers, where we discuss together and like we learn with each other. Okay, so I'll just leave it for 2 more minutes for you to take them. Thank you, Hamid. Yeah, it's been very helpful for everyone, like in a group. We've been learning together. We've been discussing the things that we need to think about. Some people are still raising hands. I'm afraid that I cannot really respond to that now because of the time. So again, you have the details for like contacting me if you want to. Of course, don't forget to fill the form before you leave. The form is in a chat box. Dr. Hiba has sent it on the group chat, of course. So make sure to fill it. And I believe that after that you would receive the certificates. I'm not very familiar with the process because that's actually my first webinar, and it's actually my first session that is video recorded, so it's a bit new to me. So forgive me if I wasn't very good at this. Okay. Thank you all very much for being here. Thank you very much for the nice comments and for participating. So yeah, that's everything. So somebody wants to ask about CCQs. Okay. So somebody's clarifying the link that you have there. Hopefully it wouldn't be the last session, inshallah. Thank you very much, people. So, okay, I believe that's it. Have you all got the link? It's in the chat box. I believe that Dr. Heba sent it. Oh, thank you, Hamid, for sharing it again. So make sure to copy it and send it again as well. So there we go. I'll keep sending the link so that you can all have it. So yeah, now it's like kind of filling the screen. I believe that the link would also be sent on this group. You mean the iTTi group? I believe it will be sent, yes, inshallah. So, okay, thank you very much, everyone. I'm gonna end the meeting now. And it was really, really nice having all of you here. Thank you very much for attending. And I hope it was helpful for you. Okay, so yeah, you also have the link. Okay, good night, everyone.